Roman mythology is filled with gods and goddesses who ruled over nature, life, and human affairs. The Dii Consentes, the 12 main deities, were central to Roman religion, each embodying unique powers and roles. They shaped the beliefs and traditions of ancient Rome through their stories and influence. First, Jupiter. Jupiter, also known as Jove, was the king of the gods and the ruler of the skies. As the most powerful deity, he governed over the heavens and was associated with thunder, lightning, and storms. His weapon, the thunderbolt, was a symbol of his divine authority and unmatched power. Jupiter was often depicted as a regal figure with a beard, holding a lightning bolt in one hand and a scepter in the other. He was also associated with the eagle, which served as his sacred animal, symbolizing strength and dominance. In addition to controlling the weather, Jupiter was the protector of law, order, and justice. He presided over oaths and treaties, ensuring that agreements between gods and mortals were honored. His primary temple in Rome, the Temple of Jupiter Optimus Maximus, was located on Capitolin Hill and served as the center of Roman state religion. Here, sacrifices and ceremonies were conducted to seek his favor in matters of war, governance, and prosperity. Second, Juno. Juno, the queen of the gods and wife of Jupiter, was revered as the goddess of marriage, childbirth, and women's well-being. She was also the protector of the Roman state and its people, particularly in her role as Juno Moneta, which emphasized her connection to money and prosperity. The word money derives from her name. Juno was frequently depicted wearing a crown and holding a scepter or a patera, a shallow dish used in rituals. Known for her fierce loyalty to her marriage, Juno was also infamous for her jealousy and vengeful nature toward Jupiter's many lovers and their children. Despite this, she was deeply respected by Roman women, who turned to her for blessings in their personal lives, especially during childbirth. The month of June, named after Juno, was considered an auspicious time for weddings and celebrations of love. 3. Neptune. Neptune was the god of the sea, freshwater, and all aquatic creatures. He also held dominion over earthquakes and horses, earning him the title Earth Shaker. Neptune was depicted as a powerful figure with a trident, his signature weapon, which he used to stir the seas or cause earthquakes. Dolphins, fish, and horses were sacred to him, and he was believed to have created the first horse as a gift to humanity. Romans, who relied on the sea for trade and travel, worshipped Neptune to ensure calm waters and safe journeys. His primary festival, the Neptunalia, was held in midsummer, a time when water was scarce. During this festival, Romans built temporary shelters and performed rituals to honor Neptune and seek his favor. His Greek counterpart, Poseidon, was similarly venerated, but Neptune's role in Roman religion was particularly tied to the expansion of the empire through naval power. Quarta, Minerva. Minerva was the goddess of wisdom, strategic warfare, arts, crafts, and education. She was a virgin goddess, representing purity and intellectual strength. Minerva was often depicted wearing a helmet and carrying a shield, emphasizing her role as a protector and strategist in war. An owl, symbolizing wisdom, was frequently shown by her side. Unlike Mars, who represented the chaos of battle, Minerva embodied the calculated, tactical aspects of warfare. She was also a patron of artisans and inventors, inspiring creativity and innovation. Minerva was part of the Capitoline Triad, alongside Jupiter and Juno, underscoring her importance in Roman state religion. The Quinquatria, a 5-day festival held in her honor, celebrated her influence over learning, crafts, and war. Students, artists, and soldiers alike sought her blessings during this time. Femte, Mars. Mars was the god of war, aggression, and military prowess. Unlike his Greek counterpart Ares, who was often portrayed as reckless and bloodthirsty, Mars was seen as a disciplined and noble warrior. He represented the strength and courage required to protect and expand the Roman Empire. Mars was considered the father of Romulus and Remus, the legendary founders of Rome, through his union with Rhea Silvia. This connection made him a symbolic ancestor of the Roman people. Mars was often depicted in full battle armor, including a helmet, shield, and spear. His sacred animals included the wolf and the woodpecker. The Romans celebrated Mars with numerous festivals, including the Feriae Marti and the October Horse, which featured rituals, games, and sacrifices to seek his favor in war and agriculture. Mars was also closely associated with the Roman military, and his shrines often stood near army camps. Sixth, Venus. Venus was the goddess of love, beauty, desire, and fertility. She was also linked to prosperity and victory, making her a multifaceted deity in Roman culture. Venus was often depicted as a stunningly beautiful woman, sometimes accompanied by doves, sparrows, or roses, all symbols of love and attraction. Venus held a special place in Roman mythology as the divine mother of Aeneas, the Trojan hero who founded the Roman people. This lineage made Venus the progenitor of the Julian family, to which Julius Caesar and Augustus belonged. Her temples, such as the Temple of Venus Genetrix, celebrated her as both the goddess of love and the protector of Rome. Festivals like the Venalia Rustica and the Aprilia honored Venus with rituals that emphasized love, fertility, and the bounties of nature. Seventh, Apollo. Apollo, one of the few deities shared directly with Greek mythology, was the god of the sun, music, poetry, healing, prophecy, and archery. He was often depicted as a handsome, youthful figure with a lyre or a bow and arrows. As the god of the sun, he was responsible for bringing light and warmth to the world. Apollo's most famous role was as the god of prophecy, with his oracle at Delphi being a central source of divine guidance. Romans also turned to Apollo during times of plague, as he was believed to ward off disease and bring healing. The Ludi Apollinaires, games held in his honor, celebrated his contributions to Roman culture and well-being. Osma Diana. Diana was the goddess of the hunt, the moon, and wild animals. She was also a protector of women, particularly during childbirth. Diana was often depicted as a huntress with a bow and quiver, accompanied by deer or hounds. She was a virgin goddess, representing purity and independence. Her most famous sanctuary was the Temple of Diana at Ephesus, one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. In Roman religion, Diana was celebrated during the Nemeralia festival, where worshippers carried torches around her sacred grove to honor her and seek her protection. 9. Vulcan. Vulcan was the god of fire, metalworking, and craftsmanship. Despite his physical deformities, he was a master blacksmith who created magnificent weapons and tools for the gods. Vulcan was often depicted with a hammer and anvil, working tirelessly at his forge. The Romans feared Vulcan's destructive aspect as much as they admired his creative abilities. His festival, the Vulcanalia, involved lighting bonfires and making offerings to prevent devastating fires. Desata Vesta. Vesta, the goddess of the hearth and home, symbolized domestic stability and unity. Her sacred flame, tended by the Vestal Virgins, represented the eternal endurance of Rome. Vesta's temples were circular, mirroring the shape of a hearth, and were central to Roman religious life. 11th, Mercury. Mercury was the god of trade, communication, and travel, as well as the messenger of the gods. His winged sandals and caduceus symbolized his speed and role as a guide. Mercury protected merchants and travelers, ensuring the flow of goods and ideas throughout the empire. Onikinchi series. Ceres was the goddess of agriculture, grain, and fertility. She was deeply associated with the cycles of nature and life. Her festivals, like the Cerealia, celebrated her role in sustaining the Roman people through bountiful harvests. The Romans honored Ceres as a motherly figure who provided for their physical and spiritual needs.